Assalamualaikum. This is a presentation on Islamization of Human Knowledge for Health Sciences course. Today I am pleased to present my research titled A Comparative Study on the Response of Planetarium Properum's Morphological Growth and Chemical Composition on Infertile Soil. This study aims to explore the growth patterns and chemical changes in Planetarium properums, commonly known as Napier grass, when cultivated in infertile soil. In addition to the scientific analysis, this presentation will also delve into Islamic perspective on agricultural research, highlighting how Islamic principles and historical practices has influenced sustainable and ethical farming. My name is Mohd Taufik bin Abdul Jalil, and I thank you all for joining me today. Let's begin our journey into understanding the intricate relationship between soil health, plant growth, and Islamic agricultural ethics. In this presentation, we will delve into importance and objectives of our study. First, let's briefly overview Planetarium properum, commonly known as Napier grass. This species is a perennial tropical grass, widely recognized for its robust growth and high biomass production. It's commonly used as fodder in many regions, making it a critical resource for sustainable agriculture, particularly in areas with challenging soil conditions. Our study focuses on examining the growth and chemical composition of Napier grass when cultivated on infertile soil. Infertile soils are typically low in essential nutrients and organic matter, posing significant challenges for crop cultivation. Understanding how Planetarium properum responds to such conditions can provide valuable insight into its potential for improving soil fertility and sustainable agricultural practices. The primary objective of our research is to compare the morphological growth and chemical composition of Planetarium properum grown on infertile soil against those grown in more fertile conditions. By doing so, we aim to identify key factors that influence its adaptability and productivity in less than ideal soil environment. This study is not only significant from an agricultural perspective, but also from Islamic viewpoint, as it aligns with the principle of sustainable and ethical farming practices encouraged in Islamic teachings. In subsequent slides, we will explore this principle in greater details along with our research findings. Here we delve into the Islamic perspective on agriculture. In Islam, agriculture holds significant importance as it is closely tied to the concept of stewardship or khilafah. Muslims believe that humans are stewards of the earth, entrusted by Allah to care for and manage it responsibly. The Quran and Hadith provide clear guidance on sustainable and ethical farming practice. One of the core principles is the emphasis on not wasting resources. This is captured in the Quran, Surah Al-A'raf, verse 31, which advises against extravagance and wastefulness, urging believers to consume in moderation and to avoid excess. Additionally, the Hadith literature, particularly Sahih al-Bukhari, contains numerous references to fair treatment of laborers and animals. These texts advocate for humane treatment of working animals and emphasize the need to provide fair wages and working conditions for agricultural laborers. Overall, the Islamic perspective on agriculture promotes a balance between productivity and ethical responsibility. It encourages Muslims to utilize resources wisely, maintain soil fertility, and treat all living beings with compassion and respect. These principles align closely with modern sustainable agricultural practices, highlighting the enduring relevance of Islamic teachings in the today's agricultural challenges. Throughout the history, the process of Islamization has significantly influenced agricultural practices across various regions. During Islamic Golden Age, spanning the 8th to 14th centuries, scholars and scientists made remarkable advancement in agronomy and farming techniques. The transfer of knowledge and innovation in agriculture during this period was profound. One of the key contributions was the introduction and adaptation of new crops and irrigation techniques. Scholars such as Al-Razi and Ibn al-Awwam documented extensive treatises on agriculture covering topics from soil fertility to crop rotation. This work provided a scientific basis for improving agricultural productivity and sustainability. Islamic civilization emphasis on learning and scholarship facilitated the spread of agricultural knowledge across the Islamic world. Centers of learning such as Baghdad, Cairo, and Cordoba become hubs for agricultural innovation, where ideas from different cultures were synthesized and disseminated. The principles of Islam, emphasizing stewardship of the earth and responsible resource management, underpin this advancement. Farmers were encouraged to adopt sustainable practices reflecting the ethical and moral guidelines prescribed in the Quran and Hadith. Overall, the influence of Islamization on agriculture not only led to technical improvement but also fostered a holistic approach to farming that balanced productivity with environmental stewardship and ethical consideration. This is where we explore the ethical considerations in Islamic agriculture. Muslim places significant emphasis on ethical farming practices which are deeply rooted in the teachings of Quran and Hadith. One of the core principles is the prohibition of wastefulness known as israf. The Quran explicitly warns against waste in Surah Al-A'raf verse 31. Eat and drink, but waste not by excess, for Allah loves not the wasters. This principle guides Muslims to use resources efficiently and responsibly, ensuring that farming practices does not lead to unnecessary depletion of natural resources. Additionally, Islamic teachings emphasize the fair treatment of labor and animals. The hadiths collected by Al-Bukhari contain numerous references to the compassionate treatment of animals and importance of providing fair wages and working conditions for laborers. For example, Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, said, "Whoever is kind to the creatures of God is kind to himself." This ethical consideration encourages sustainable human farming practices. Farmers are guided to maintain the health of their soil, water, and crops while treating workers and animals with respect and kindness. Such principles not only foster a balanced ecosystem but also ensure that agricultural practices align with the broader ethical and moral framework of Islam. Understanding these ethical guidelines is crucial for our research on napier grass, as they provide foundation for developing sustainable and responsible agricultural practices. By integrating these principles, we can better assess the potential for this plant to contribute to improving soil fertility without compromising ethical standards. Now we will explore the relationship between Islamization and sustainable agriculture. The concept of sustainability is deeply rooted in Islamic teaching, emphasizing the need to balance human needs for environmental stewardship. Firstly, the Quran and Hadith provide clear guidelines on sustainable agricultural practices. For instance, in Surah Al-An'am, verse advises against wastefulness and encourages responsible use of resources. This principle of avoiding israf or waste is central to sustainable farming. By minimizing waste, farmers can ensure the long-term fertility and productivity of their land. Secondly, Islamic teachings advocate for crop rotation and the preservation of soil fertility. Crop rotation, a practice where different types of crops are planted sequentially on the same land, helps prevent soil depletion and reduces pest and diseases cycle. This method aligns with the Quranic directive to cultivate the soil responsibly and maintain its health for future generations. Additionally, water conservation is a significant aspect of sustainable agriculture in Islam. Water is considered a sacred resource and its judicious use is emphasized. The Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, is reported to have said, "Do not waste water, even if you perform your ablution on the banks of an abundantly flowing river." A quote by Ibn Majah. This highlights the importance of water management practices such as efficient irrigation techniques and rainwater harvesting. Lastly, Islamic teachings promote the use of organic fertilizers and natural pest control methods. By utilizing organic matter to enrich the soil, farmers can enhance the soil structure and fertility without relying on chemical fertilizers that can harm the environment. This practice not only aligns with the ethical principles of Islam but also supports biodiversity and ecological balance. In conclusion, the integration of Islamic principles into agricultural practices foster a holistic approach to sustainability. By adhering to these guidelines, farmers can contribute to environmental conservation while fulfilling their role as stewards of the earth as mandated by their faith. This fusion of religious values and sustainable practices highlights the enduring relevance of Islamic teaching in addressing contemporary environmental challenges. The case study of Planetary purpurums, also known as napier grass, through the lens of Islamic agriculture principles. In Islam, soil management is considered a crucial aspect of agriculture. The Quran and Hadith emphasize on the importance of maintaining soil health and fertility. In Islamic teaching, the land is seen as trust or amanah from Allah, and humans are its stewards. This concept, known as khilafah, entails that we must take care of the earth and use its resources responsibly and sustainably. One way to ensure soil health is through the use of natural fertilizers and organic matter. This practice aligns with the Prophet Muhammad teachings on avoiding wastefulness and promoting the use of natural resources. For instance, composting waste to enrich soil is highly encouraged. The use of animal manure, green manure, and other organic input helps in maintaining soil fertility, which is critical for crop growth and sustainability. In our study, we examine how this principle can be applied to improve the growth of napier grass on infertile soil. By integrating Islamic guidelines on soil management, such as avoiding chemical overuse and ensuring balanced application of organic matters, we aim to promote healthier and more sustainable agriculture practices. This approach not only enhances the growth of Planetary purpurum but also contributes to the broader goal of sustainable agriculture, ensuring that we fulfill our role as stewards of the earth. The result of our study will shed light on the effectiveness of these practices and their potential to improve agricultural outcomes in challenging environments. This understanding can also bridge the gap between traditional Islamic farming method and modern agricultural practices, fostering a more holistic and ethical approach to farming. In our discussion, we will delve into the interpretation of our expected outcomes of the study from an Islamic perspective. It is expected the findings will indicate that Napier grass will show varying morphological growth and chemical composition when grown on infertile soil. Under different treatment, this outcome will emphasize the critical importance of soil health, a concept deeply embedded in Islamic agricultural principles. From Islamic viewpoint, soil is a manah given by Allah to humanity. The Quran and Hadith also stresses the significance of maintaining soil fertility and preventing its degradation indirectly through Quran 6, chapter 6, verse 141, which advocates for sustainable harvesting method, urging believers not to waste resources. Our expectation of study also suggests that implementing natural soil improvement techniques such as the use of organic matter and crop rotation aligns with Islamic teaching on sustainability and ethical farming. This method not only enhance soil fertility but also promote the well-being of the ecosystem, reflecting the Islamic principle of balance or mizan in nature. Furthermore, the findings highlight the potential of integrating modern agricultural practices with traditional Islamic farming methods. This integration can address contemporary challenges while adhering to ethical and sustainable practices as described in Islam. In conclusion, the research underscores the need for a holistic approach to soil management, combining scientific innovation with ethical and sustainable principles found in Islamic teachings. This approach can lead to improved agricultural productivity and environmental stewardship, fulfilling our role as stewards of the earth. This section we will delve into some of the debates and potential ethical issues that arise from integrating modern agricultural practices with traditional Islamic farming principles. Firstly, there is an ongoing debate within the Muslim community about the adoption of modern agricultural technologies. Some argue that this innovation, including genetically modified organisms or GMOs, can enhance food security and improve crop yields. However, others raise concern about the ethical implication of GMOs, citing potential health risks and environmental impacts. From Islamic perspective, these concerns are rooted in the principle of avoiding harm or darar and ensuring safety and well-being of the community. Other point of contention is the balance between traditional Islamic farming method and contemporary agricultural practices. Traditional methods often emphasize natural and organic approaches, reflecting the Islamic teaching on sustainability and environmental stewardship. On the other hand, modern practices may involve the use of chemical fertilizers and pesticides, which can conflict with the principle of avoiding harm to the environment. Moreover, ethical consideration extend to the labor practice and treatment of workers in agricultural sector. Islam strongly advocates for fair treatment of the laborers, ensuring their rights and well-being. This aligns with broader discussion on labor rights and fair wages in modern agriculture. In conclusion, while there are significant benefits to integrating modern agricultural practices, it is crucial to consider and address these ethical and religious concerns. By doing so, we can develop a more holistic and sustainable approach to agriculture that aligns with Islamic principles. In conclusion, from an Islamic perspective, the study underscores the significance of sustainable agricultural practices. emphasize the stewardship of the earth, advocating for methods that enhance soil fertility and promote ethical farming. Our findings aligns with the principles suggesting that incorporating natural fertilizer and organic matter as recommended in Islamic teaching can improve soil health and plant growth. Moreover, the study shed light some potential controversies. For instance, the balance between modern agricultural technique and traditional Islamic farming method remains topic of the debate. The ethical implication of genetic modification, particularly within Islamic framework, require further exploration. In summary, our research supports the integration of Islamic principles in agricultural practice to achieve sustainability and ethical farming. Moving forward, future research should continue to explore this intersection, providing deeper insight into how Islamic teaching can inform and enhance agricultural practices. This is the references used in the study, and this is the conclusion of the presentation. Thank you.